Touhou is known for its difficult, eye-burning bullet patterns. However, that doesn't mean that these attacks have no logic to them. On the contrary, these battles require careful thought and quick analytical skill to pull off. Here are 5 tips to get good at Touhou. 1. Don't move so much. I see beginner players want to bob and weave quickly with constant movement. It does make sense to think that there are so many bullets you have to dodge all the time, but keep in mind that there aren't many bullets on the screen that actually pose a threat to you immediately. Try to focus on what bullets are headed your way, and only move when you need to dodge those, or to get into a better overall position. 2. If you have to move proactively. What I mean by this is that moving forward with purpose is better than going backwards in fear. Now, that advice is in 2 parts. The advantages of going forward is that it gives you more space to move. When you're dodging around, it's in a 2D space. That means when you go backwards and eventually hit the backboard, you're eliminating a possible avenue for your escape. Furthermore, going forward increases your DPS. More damage equals less dodging, and the less dodging we have to do, the better. Only move backwards if bullets are coming at you too fast, as a way to give you a buffer to think. The second part is moving with purpose. If a bullet pattern is moving too fast, you should move through gaps proactively. That's because erratic patterns tend to close gaps if you wait for bullets to go past you. If you're identifying places to go through, that'll be much safer than chancing that the safe spot will still be there by the time it meets you. 3. Use your bombs. Use your bombs. I can understand wanting to practice spells, but you can do that with tools like THPrac. For Touhou players like us, we cannot afford such hubris. To put it simply, you lose bombs you don't use. My policy is when I am less than 90% sure that I'll survive, use a bomb. 4. Learn the common bullet patterns. Most bullet patterns can be divided into one of 3 groups: aimed, static, and random. Aimed attacks are exactly how they sound. They come toward you at a trajectory based upon where you were when the bullet was shot. Static attacks are the same all the time, and random are random. The reason knowing these patterns is a good practice is because they are dodged in the same way. Aimed attacks can be dodged by staying in the same place until the bullet almost hits you. Static attacks can be memorized and dodged accordingly. And random, well, keep my first 2 tips in mind. Remembering which bullet pattern an attack is in sequential runs will dramatically increase your survivability, or even when you're playing a new bullet hell for the first time. And finally, tip number 5. Keep a productive mindset. This tip can be applied to any kind of activity that requires thinking, which I presume is most of them, so keep these wise words from Grandpa Wavechaser in mind. There is no point in thoughts that do not contribute to victory. Thoughts such as, oh no, I'm so dead, or this spell is impossible, or even, lasers are such bullshit, the Prism River Sisters can go back to where they came from, are not useful thoughts. Rather, keep focused by asking yourself relevant questions. Questions like, what kind of pattern is this? Or, should I stay put or move proactively? Will do infinitely more than freaking out will. And those are my tips for beginners. There are more complicated, specific things that can help in niche scenarios, but these are the kinds of things I realized that exponentially increased my success rate. It took me beating Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, Perfect Cherry Blossom, and Imperishable Knight before fully understanding these concepts. So I hope I can pass on that hard-earned knowledge to you. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next Touhou Tuesday.